was able to find a website that had it transcribed. So you might be able to hear my dogs in the background. One of them is cleaning themselves. Okay. This is the name of the poem is called The Great Realization. This story starts before then in a world I once would dwell. It was a world of waste and wonder, of poverty and plenty. Back before we understood why hindsight's 2020. You see, the people came up with companies to trade across all lands, but they swelled and got much bigger than we ever could have planned. We always had our wants, but now it got so quick. You could have anything you dreamed of in a day and with a click. We noticed families had stopped talking. That's not to say they never spoke, but the meaning must have melted, and the work-life balance broke, and the children's eyes grew square, and every toddler had a phone. They filtered out the imperfections, but amidst the noise, they felt alone. And every day the skies grew thicker, till you couldn't see the stars. So we flew in planes to find them, while down below we filled our cars. We drove around all day in circles. We'd forgotten how to run. We swapped the grass for tarmac, shrunk the park, still there were none. We filled the sea with plastic because our waste was never capped, until each day when you went fishing, you'd pull them out already wrapped. And while we drank and smoked and gambled, our leaders taught us why. It's best to not upset the lobbies, more convenient to die. But then in 2020, a new virus came our way. The government reacted and told us all to hide away. But while we were all hidden amidst the fear, and all the while, the people dusted off their instincts. They remembered how to smile. They started clapping to say thank you and calling up their mums. And while the car keys gathered dust, they would look forward to their runs. And with the skies less full of voyagers, the earth began to breathe, and the beaches bore new wildlife that scuttled off into the seas. Some people started dancing, some were singing, some were baking. We'd grown so used to bad news, but some good news was in the making. And so when we found the cure and were allowed to go outside, we all preferred the world we found to the one we'd left behind. Old habits become extinct, and they made way for the new. And every simple act of kindness was now given its due. But why did it take so long to bring the people back together? Well, sometimes you got to get sick, my boy, before you start feeling better. Now lie down and dream of tomorrow and all the things that can do, and all the things that we can do. And who knows, if you dream hard enough, maybe some of them will come true. We now call it the Great Realization, and yes, since then there have been many, but that's the story of how it started and why hindsight's 2020. Oh, that is, I watched a video, and it was like a dad reading it to his son. It was like taking place in the future, and they were looking back, and the little boy was probably 5 or 6 years old, and he said, "Daddy, Daddy, read me the one about 2020 again." So, it does seem strange how we will look back on this, and it's something that we will just, I guess it's just important for the people that live through it to make sure that the people that haven't, that they know that those things can happen. Sometimes we get so comfortable that we take certain things for granted. And I, for one, try to always maintain my gratitude. I do feel blessed to be born in America. And I know a lot of you listening are from other countries. And some of you have been through extremely hard times. And I just hope that, that somehow, some way, eventually, everything will, somehow mankind can find peace. I believe that somehow it can happen. I mean, we've come so far, and so it's highly likely that somehow, some way. I know, like right now, if you think about the world, you think about, doing away with suffering. It seems like a daunting challenge. Anyway, I wanted to read that poem and then talk about it for a little bit. But now I had a request for somebody from one of my subscribers had asked if I would type like on the keyboard, like some people I guess are triggered by the sound of a keyboard. So my keyboard is not. I just don't think the keys are very loud, so I don't know how well this will pick up, but I'm gonna just like tap on the keys. Okay, that was enough of a sample to see what I wanted to put that in there so that that person can see if they like it or not. And if so, then maybe I can make a video of that, of doing that. I've stuck to whispers just pretty much the whole time. I think early on I've got one video where I try to do a hand movement. And I just didn't feel real comfortable doing it. So, anyway, I didn't really plan on doing much after the poem. I just thought if something came to me, I would make a video, but I have just been a little bit busy and struggle with trying to make something unique and to talk about things that aren't negative. Sometimes it's difficult to find like I don't know, so when I'm thinking about doing these videos, I want to try to do something that is really helpful. And I know just like getting triggers is the most, being able to get tingles is truly like the number one reason to listen to ASMR. Because it's so relaxing and it's just such a I think it's healthy for your body to experience it and to go through it. So I think it's good for blood pressure and all the things that I think it helps me with. Though there's a physical, it's a physical, what am I saying here? It's a physical response that you get, you feel it in your body. And but I think that internally, whatever is happening to you externally and you're feeling those tingles on your skin, internally something is creating that, and it's like those waves or whatever it is, that it's just those certain frequencies that will trigger